A lot of times, in great ways, cultural landscapes are assessed in terms of the physical traces that remain, that can be measured, that can be marked, that can have sort of some form of interpretation attached to them. I'm really interested in places like dune systems and marshes, you know, in the context of barrier islands. When we think of something like a dune system on a barrier island or on a lakeshore, through the lens of a cultural landscape, what we're really asking is, what are the ways that meaning is ascribed to these places by the populations that have valued them through time, and what in the landscape itself continues to hold those values, those stories, those personal, family, community histories, even as the landscape itself is continually changing. At times it seems like there's a widespread sentiment that systems that appear natural have no cultural history to them. And so the dunes are particularly interesting in that way because they're always new all the time. They're being continually remade. Yesterday's footprints appear smooth in the morning. It's as if it's a kind of undiscovered landscape at every moment. A lot of what we do is actually in the field, like going to these places, looking at how they are now. Kind of more specifically, I've started to work in more of an oral history capacity, thinking about the relationship of people to the land that they've stewarded for several generations, often more than several. The kind of lens through which that kind of oral history is conducted takes as its sort of a priori understanding that there's deep, long-term, multi-generational environmental knowledge in these places. Sea level rise, climate change narrative is very easily oversimplified. And when you bring in individual stories about coping with change through generations, it adds the kind of texture, the kind of differentiation, the layers that this narrative needs right now. It's about many kinds of sources, a very omnivorous approach to research methods, and a very open-minded approach to where knowledge can come from.